Ladies and gentlemen, every single one of us is given the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between those who simply get through the day and those who make the day count is not luck, intelligence, or even talent. It's how they manage their time. Time is not just ticking seconds. It's the most valuable resource we have, and once it's gone, we never get it back. Today, I'm not here to tell you to do more. I'm here to challenge you to do what matters most, because when you learn to lead your time, you learn to lead your life. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop being busy and start being productive. And most importantly, you stop living by default and start living by design. Let's explore not just the strategies, but the mindset behind great time management. Because when you understand your why, the how becomes clearer. Understanding the value of time is the foundation of effective time management. Without recognizing how precious and finite our time truly is, all other strategies become meaningless. Time is the only resource in life that, once spent, can never be recovered. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose energy and regain it with rest. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. This reality is often overlooked because time is invisible. It doesn't shout for attention like our phone notifications or an empty wallet. Yet, it's quietly slipping away with every passing second. The first step in improving time management skills is not learning how to make a to-do list or use a calendar app. It's learning to respect time as something sacred. People who understand the value of time approach their days differently. They don't allow others to waste their time, and they don't waste it themselves. They are intentional with what they give their attention to. They ask themselves, is this the best use of my time right now? Before saying yes to meetings, conversations, or commitments, they realize that every minute spent on something unimportant is a minute stolen from something that truly matters. This awareness creates a natural filter, helping them make better decisions and avoid distractions more easily. When you understand the value of time, procrastination starts to look less harmless and more dangerous. Putting off tasks until the last minute may feel convenient in the short term, but it often leads to stress, rushed work, and missed opportunities. Worse, it creates a habit of treating time as though it's endless, which leads to a cycle of mediocrity and regret. By valuing time, you begin to take responsibility for how you use it. You understand that it's not about having time, it's about making time for what matters. You stop blaming external circumstances and start managing your inner choices. Time, unlike money or material possessions, is the great equalizer. Everyone gets the same amount, but it's how we use it that separates those who lead fulfilling lives from those who merely survive. Some people spend hours scrolling through social media without realizing that they're trading their most valuable resource for momentary distraction. Others invest that same time in reading, learning, connecting with loved ones, or building something meaningful. One person may complain they don't have time to exercise or pursue their goals, while another with the same 24 hours makes it a priority. The difference lies in how they perceive and value their time. Realizing the value of time also means accepting that you can't do everything. You have to make choices. That means letting go of perfectionism and the fear of missing out. It means understanding that saying "yes" to one thing always means saying no to something else. When you value your time, you start to guard it like a treasure. You don't just give it away freely to anyone or anything. You become more selective, more focused, and more driven by purpose. There's also an emotional side to valuing time. Many people waste time because they're avoiding discomfort. They delay difficult tasks, postpone important decisions, or distract themselves with entertainment to avoid facing deeper issues. But those who understand time's worth are willing to feel uncomfortable now to achieve greater clarity, progress, and freedom later. They embrace the short-term pain of discipline to avoid the long-term pain of regret. They live not just for pleasure, but for purpose. Furthermore, valuing time brings a sense of urgency, not in a panicked or rushed way, but in a purposeful, energized way. It creates momentum. When you truly grasp how limited your time is, you start living with more intention. You wake up with clear goals. You spend less time dwelling on the past or fearing the future and more time acting in the present. You realize that today is not just another day, it's a chance you'll never get back. That mindset transforms ordinary moments into opportunities. In the end, improving your time management begins with a shift in perspective. It's not just about managing tasks, it's about managing life. And life is made of time. When you understand the value of time, you become more present, more focused, and more aligned with what really matters to you. You start living on purpose, not by accident, and that changes everything. Prioritizing with purpose is one of the most powerful skills in time management because not everything on your to-do list holds equal weight. When you start your day without a sense of what truly matters, it's easy to fall into the trap of being busy instead of being productive. You respond to emails, attend meetings, run errands, and check off small tasks, but at the end of the day, you may still feel unfulfilled. That's because motion isn't progress. Doing a lot doesn't always mean you're doing the right things. The key is to work on what matters most, not just what feels urgent. To prioritize with purpose, you must first know your purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? What are your values, your goals, your bigger vision? Without clarity on these things, priorities become guesses. But when you're clear on your direction, decisions become easier. You don't get pulled in every direction because you know what deserves your time and attention. Purpose gives you focus. It helps you filter distractions and say no to things that don't align with your mission. This isn't just about long-term life purpose. It's also about being intentional each day. Ask yourself every morning, what are the most important things I need to get done today that will move me closer to my goals? When you start with that question, you naturally shift from reactive to proactive. Instead of letting the world set your agenda, you set it for yourself. That's how priorities become powerful. When they are chosen consciously, not handed to you by someone else's urgency. It's easy to confuse urgency with importance. Urgent things scream the loudest, deadlines, notifications, unexpected requests, but important things often whisper. They require quiet thought, long-term vision, and the discipline to delay gratification. Calling a client back may be urgent, but building a strategy for your future is important. Checking your messages might feel productive, but deep, focused work creates lasting value. When you prioritize with purpose, you learn to protect your energy from the noise of the immediate and invest it into the meaningful. Another important part of purposeful prioritization is understanding the cost of saying yes. Every time you commit to something, you're choosing to not do something else. That's called opportunity cost, and it's one of the most overlooked aspects of time management. People often say yes to tasks, meetings, or favors out of guilt, habit, or the fear of conflict. But every yes has a hidden price. Purposeful people say yes slowly and no gracefully. They evaluate what fits into their bigger picture and are not afraid to let go of what doesn't. A helpful tool in this process is the Eisenhower matrix, dividing tasks into 4 categories: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. Most people live in the first 2 categories, constantly putting out fires or chasing deadlines. But the real growth happens in the second category, important but not urgent. This includes planning, learning, relationship building, and self-care. Things that often get pushed aside until it's too late. By identifying and scheduling time for these non-urgent but critical priorities, you start managing your life, not just your tasks. Another mistake people make is over-prioritizing. When everything is a priority, nothing is. Trying to accomplish 10 top tasks in a day usually leads to scattered effort and diluted results. Instead, choose your top 3. What are the 3 most impactful things you can do today? This forces clarity. It sharpens focus. It helps you let go of the illusion of doing it all and instead move forward with purpose. Productivity is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters and doing it well. Sometimes, prioritizing with purpose means making hard choices. It means delaying comfort for growth. It means saying no to something good so you can say yes to something great. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it, because when you align your actions with your highest values, you don't just manage time better, you live better. Your work becomes more meaningful, your progress becomes visible, and your days become a reflection of your deepest intentions. Ultimately, prioritizing with purpose transforms your relationship with time. You stop treating time like a container to be filled and start treating it like a canvas to be painted. You become the designer of your days, not the defender of your schedule. And with that power comes freedom. The freedom to focus, to grow, and to live a life that actually matters. Eliminating distractions intentionally is one of the most critical elements in mastering time management. In a world full of pings, pop-ups, notifications, and non-stop noise, staying focused has become harder than ever. Distractions are no longer occasional, they are constant, cleverly designed to hijack your attention and redirect your energy away from what truly matters. The issue is not just the presence of distractions, but our passive relationship with them. Most people don't actively manage distractions, they simply react to them. But if you want to take control of your time, you must learn to eliminate distractions on purpose, not by chance. The first step in dealing with distractions is awareness. Most people underestimate how much time they actually lose to small interruptions. A quick glance at your phone can lead to 10 to 15 minutes of mental wandering. An email notification can break your concentration and take you off course. Studies have shown that it can take up to 23 minutes to regain deep focus after just one interruption. When you multiply this over a day, the amount of lost productivity becomes staggering. Eliminating distractions isn't about becoming a robot. It's about protecting your most valuable mental resource, your attention. Intentional elimination means you don't wait for distractions to steal your time. You prevent them before they strike. That could be as simple as turning off non-essential notifications on your phone or computer. Most notifications are not urgent, they are merely designed to grab your attention. Take control by setting boundaries, check your messages at scheduled times instead of constantly reacting. Use tools like Do Not Disturb mode or app blockers during your deep work sessions. These may seem like small adjustments, but they make a massive difference when done consistently. Another key strategy is creating a focused environment. Your surroundings play a huge role in your ability to concentrate. If your workspace is cluttered, noisy, or full of temptations, it will constantly pull you away from your priorities. A clean, organized, and quiet space can significantly enhance your ability to stay on task. Whether you're working from home, a cafe, or an office, take the time to design your environment with intention. Keep only what you need in front of you, use noise-canceling headphones if necessary, and let others know when you need uninterrupted time. Digital distractions are not the only culprits. Mental distractions can be just as dangerous. Thoughts about unrelated tasks, worries, or unresolved conversations can silently drain your focus. One effective method to deal with this is keeping a thought parking lot, a notepad, or digital document where you can quickly jot down anything that pops into your head while you're working. This way, you acknowledge the thought without allowing it to pull you away from your task. Later, you can return to it with full attention. Multitasking is another major distraction disguised as productivity. Many people believe they are saving time by juggling multiple tasks at once, but research shows that multitasking actually reduces efficiency and increases errors. The human brain isn't built to focus on two complex tasks simultaneously. What you're actually doing is task switching, and it takes a toll on your energy and concentration. The most effective time managers understand this and commit to one task at a time, fully present, fully focused. Another overlooked form of distraction is people. While human connection is important, not every conversation or request deserves your immediate attention. You must learn to protect your boundaries. This doesn't mean being rude or unapproachable, but it does mean being assertive about your focus time. Let your colleagues, friends, or family know when you're in a focused work block and unavailable for casual talk or interruptions. Over time, people will respect your discipline, and you'll notice how much more you accomplish. Intentionally eliminating distractions is a practice that requires consistency and discipline. You won't always get it right, and there will be times when distractions win. But the more you build habits around focused work, the easier it becomes. Start small, set a timer for 25 minutes of distraction-free work, then take a short break. This Pomodoro technique is a simple way to train your brain for focus and resist the pull of distractions. Finally, remember that attention is like a muscle. It grows stronger the more you train it. Every time you resist a distraction, you are not just saving a few minutes. You are strengthening your ability to be present and productive. In a world competing for your attention, your ability to focus is a superpower. When you eliminate distractions intentionally, you reclaim your time, your energy, and your potential. You stop drifting through your day, and you start driving it. Planning your day the night before is one of the simplest yet most effective time management habits you can develop. It sets the tone for your next day before it even begins, giving you a clear roadmap of what needs to be done and in what order. Without a plan, you wake up and fall into a reactive mode, responding to others' priorities, putting out fires, and wasting valuable time deciding what to do next. But when you plan your day the night before, you eliminate guesswork and start your day with purpose, direction, and clarity. This habit is powerful because it puts you in control. Instead of waking up and asking, "What should I do today?" you already have an answer. You become the architect of your time, not a passive participant in someone else's schedule. Planning ahead creates a sense of structure which boosts focus and reduces stress. You're no longer scrambling to remember tasks or juggling ideas in your mind all day. You've already done the thinking, you just need to execute. When you sit down at night to plan your next day, your mind is typically calmer. The rush of the day is over, and you have the space to think clearly. This is the perfect time to reflect on what went well, what didn't, and what still needs to be done. This reflection adds depth to your planning. It helps you adjust your goals and tasks based on real progress, not just assumptions. It ensures that you're not simply rolling your unfinished tasks forward blindly, but reviewing them with intention and relevance. Start your nightly planning by identifying your top 3 priorities for the next day. These are not random tasks, but the most meaningful actions that will move you closer to your goals. Choosing 3 forces you to focus and make tough decisions. You can still complete other tasks, but these 3 are your non-negotiables. If you finish them, your day is already a success, no matter what else happens. This reduces overwhelm and sharpens your mental energy for what truly matters. After setting your priorities, look at your calendar and time blocks. Assign realistic time slots to your key tasks, meetings, and breaks. This practice, known as time blocking, helps you visually organize your day and ensures you're allocating time according to your actual workload. It also exposes gaps, conflicts, or overscheduling before the day begins, allowing you to adjust proactively. When you plan in advance, you're less likely to double book yourself or run out of time for important work. Another important part of nighttime planning is preparation. Think ahead about the tools, documents, or materials you'll need for the next day's work. Set up your workspace, lay out your clothes, prepare your meals, whatever helps reduce friction in the morning. These small actions prevent decision fatigue and streamline your routine. When you eliminate minor choices and delays, you preserve your mental energy for more important decisions throughout the day. Nightly planning also helps you sleep better. When your mind knows that tomorrow is already organized, it doesn't have to stay alert or anxious. Many people lie awake at night thinking about what they need to do. Writing it down and organizing it allows your brain to rest, knowing that nothing will be forgotten. This mental closure creates peace and allows for deeper, more restorative sleep, something that also directly impacts your productivity the next day. Planning your day the night before also builds momentum. It gives you a head start before the day begins. You wake up with intention, not indecision. You don't waste the first hour of your day figuring out what to do. You're already moving. This creates a chain reaction. Small wins early in the day lead to bigger wins later. Your productivity builds on itself, and by the time others are still deciding what to tackle first, you've already completed something meaningful. Over time, this habit creates discipline. It's a practice of thinking ahead, being intentional, and treating your time with respect. It doesn't take long, just 10 to 15 minutes in the evening, but the return on that small investment is massive. You start showing up more prepared, more organized, and more focused than ever before. You feel less overwhelmed and more in control of your life. In the end, planning your day the night before is not just about organizing your schedule, it's about owning your time. It's a quiet, powerful declaration that you are in charge of your direction. It transforms you from someone who reacts to time into someone who leads it. And that shift in mindset is what separates people who drift through life from those who design it. Learning to say no confidently is one of the most liberating and impactful time management skills you can develop. Every time you say yes to something, you are automatically saying no to something else, whether you realize it or not. The problem is that many people say yes far too easily out of guilt, fear, habit, or the desire to please others. This leads to overloaded schedules, constant stress, and a lack of time for the things that truly matter. If you want to manage your time effectively, you must learn the art of saying no, not with rudeness or arrogance, but with clarity, respect, and confidence. The first reason people struggle to say no is the fear of disappointing others. We want to be helpful, kind, and supportive. While these intentions are good, they become harmful when they come at the expense of our own priorities, well-being, and boundaries. The truth is, every time you say yes to someone else's request that doesn't align with your goals, you are taking time away from your own growth and progress. You may think you're being generous, but you're actually diminishing your own capacity to focus on what matters. Saying no is not a rejection of the person, it's a protection of your purpose. When you start viewing no through that lens, it becomes easier to speak it with confidence. You begin to realize that your time is valuable and finite. You can't do everything for everyone, and trying to do so leads to burnout, resentment, and low-quality results. People who manage their time well understand this. They guard their schedule like a gate, carefully deciding what gets in and what stays out. Being able to say no also requires knowing what you're saying yes to. Clarity is power. When you're clear on your values, goals, and priorities, decisions become easier. You don't have to overthink or second guess. You simply ask yourself, does this request align with my mission right now? If the answer is no, you can respectfully decline. If the answer is yes, you can commit fully. Without that inner clarity, everything feels equally important, and that's when boundaries begin to blur. It's also important to understand that every yes has a cost. Agreeing to attend an unnecessary meeting might mean skipping time for deep work. Taking on a task for someone else might mean sacrificing your own deadlines. Accepting every social invitation might mean losing the quiet time your mind and body need. You must evaluate not just the immediate effect of your yes, but the long-term consequences. People who respect their time don't say yes because it's easier. They say yes because it's right. There are many polite, assertive ways to say no without sounding harsh. You don't need to explain your whole life or feel guilty. A simple, I wish I could, but I'm fully committed right now, or thanks for thinking of me, but I'll have to pass this time can be enough. Practicing these phrases in advance can help you feel more confident in the moment. Remember, it's not about being cold or uncaring, it's about being responsible with your time and energy. Learning to say no also helps others respect you more. At first, they may be surprised or disappointed, especially if they're used to you always saying yes. But over time, they will understand that your time has boundaries and that you value it. This creates mutual respect. It also inspires others to take ownership of their time, creating healthier, more productive relationships at work and in life. Saying no confidently also increases the quality of your yes. When you stop overcommitting, you free up time and energy to show up more fully for the things you do choose to do. Your yes becomes wholehearted instead of half-hearted. You're not rushing from task to task or showing up exhausted. You're present, focused, and capable of giving your best. This isn't always easy. You may feel uncomfortable at first, but like any skill, it gets easier with practice. The more you say no to what doesn't serve you, the more space you create for what does. You start to feel less like a victim of your schedule and more like the creator of your time. That feeling is empowering. In the end, learning to say no is a declaration of self-respect. It's a sign that you value your time, your goals, and your well-being. It's not about closing doors, it's about opening the right ones. When you stop being afraid of no, you start building a life filled with intentional yeses. And that's when your time becomes truly yours to manage, direct, and enjoy. Reviewing and adjusting regularly is the final, but often the most underestimated pillar of effective time management. Many people plan once and expect everything to unfold perfectly. But time management is not a one-time event. It's a living process that requires regular reflection and course correction. Even the best laid plans can fall apart due to unexpected circumstances, shifting priorities, or personal limitations. What separates high performers from the rest isn't that everything always goes according to plan. It's that they review consistently and adjust intelligently. They don't just move forward blindly. They stop, evaluate, learn, and refine. Life changes constantly. Projects evolve, new responsibilities emerge. Personal energy fluctuates. If you're not regularly reviewing your performance and your plans, you may find yourself stuck in routines that no longer serve you. You might be spending your days on tasks that are no longer important, clinging to outdated goals, or repeating mistakes without realizing it. Regular review is the tool that keeps you aligned with what truly matters. It allows you to stay agile, focused, and effective even in a fast-changing world. The process of reviewing doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as spending 10-15 minutes at the end of each day asking yourself key questions. What did I accomplish today? What didn't get done, and why? What can I do better tomorrow? These small reflections create powerful awareness. They help you identify time wasters, recognize patterns, and improve your habits day by day. Over time, this builds a feedback loop that leads to mastery, not just of your tasks, but of your time and attention. Weekly reviews are another powerful strategy. Once a week, take a slightly deeper dive. Look back at what you set out to do and what actually happened. Were your priorities clear? Did you stay focused? Where did you get off track? What took longer than expected? What can you simplify or delegate? Use this time not just to analyze what went wrong, but to celebrate what went right. Progress builds motivation, and recognizing small wins fuels your momentum. When you review regularly, you stay connected to your goals and develop the discipline to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow. Adjusting is the second part of this process, and it requires honesty. Many people don't adjust because they don't want to admit that something isn't working. They stick to plans out of pride, fear, or inertia. But refusing to adjust is not a sign of commitment. It's a sign of stubbornness. Smart time managers are flexible. They understand that change is not failure, it's wisdom. If a system's strategy or schedule isn't producing results, they don't cling to it. They tweak it, experiment, and try again. This willingness to adjust turns setbacks into stepping stones and ensures they stay on the path of meaningful progress. Adjustments can come in many forms. Maybe you realize that a task you thought was important isn't contributing to your goals, so you cut it out. Maybe you notice you're most productive in the morning and decide to schedule deep work then. Maybe you find that a digital tool you're using is more distracting than helpful, so you switch to something simpler. Whatever the case, the point is to treat your time management like a system you're always improving, not a fixed routine you must obey. This process also sharpens your self-awareness. When you review and adjust regularly, you get to know your strengths and weaknesses more intimately. You begin to notice when you're most focused, how long tasks really take, what types of work drain or energize you, and what habits help you stay on track. This kind of insight is a powerful advantage. It allows you to design your days in alignment with your natural rhythms and make better decisions about where to invest your energy. Another benefit of this habit is that it keeps you engaged. Without regular reviews, time management can become robotic. You go through the motions, ticking off tasks, but you lose the sense of purpose behind them. Reviewing reconnects you with your why. It reminds you that your time is not just a list of chores. It's a resource for building the life you want. That perspective brings meaning to even the smallest adjustments. Ultimately, reviewing and adjusting regularly turns time management into a process of continuous improvement. It's not about being perfect, it's about being proactive. It's about choosing growth over comfort, learning over rigidity, and progress over perfection. When you commit to this practice, you develop the habits of reflection, honesty, and resilience. You become not just a better planner, but a better thinker and doer. In the end, managing your time, well, isn't about having the perfect system. It's about having a mindset of growth and ownership. It's about showing up each day, learning from what happened, and making small changes that lead to big results. When you review and adjust regularly, you stay aligned, stay accountable, and stay moving forward, one intentional step at a time.